Lydia Williams, Matilda number 138. That is the lowest number of this current squad, which means you've been there a long time. How does all that experience feel?
Oh, it really feels quite, I guess, full circle. I remember when it was my first one, so to kind of be around for number 5 is pretty incredible, but really humbling as well.
And when you get beyond that, how important is this team?
Oh, I think this team's just really special. It's a lot of us have been friends and teammates for, I think, over 10 years now. And, that's kind of like having a school friend. You just know everything about them, their quirks, what makes them happy, what, makes them sad. And we have that in this team, is that you can kind of pick each other up when things aren't going well, and you can kind of cheer each other on when things are going great.
All up, there have been 224, I think, Matildas players. And, that goes back a few decades now. But out of all of that, there's only 6 who come with First Nations heritage. That in itself makes this home World Cup extra special, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just being, Indigenous and Australian and being able to represent on the world stage, especially in our backyard, it's really quite, it's an honour. Just recently we've been having, welcome to country before games. There's been smoking ceremonies that we've been a part of as a team, and just seeing that and seeing that it's going to be shown to the world is really exciting.
Well, I noticed that one of the captain's armbands that FIFA has come up with is to recognise Indigenous peoples around the world. There's such a shift, and there's so much more of that sort of discussion taking place now globally. Do you feel like you have an important role to play in that regard?
Yeah, definitely. I think, just in Australia, just celebrating, what NAIDOC week is, and obviously that's all happening, at the midst of, this announcement as well. But I guess a lot of other countries being able to celebrate their native people and the culture, and having that shown worldwide, and FIFA recognising that is something important, I think is really exciting, and it's something that's going to grow more and more. With growth, there's always controversy and a lot of conversation around it, but it puts a highlight on the issue.
You've played at a time where you can kind of go and learn something else, you can become something else, you can develop as a person. But now, as the game grows and as women's football becomes more professionalised, there's not the room to be able to do that, is there? It's like 24/7, you're a professional athlete. So in some ways, do you feel privileged to have been able to have that kind of time where some of those who are coming through next might not have the same sorts of opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've got to work at the zoo. I got to release some children's books and do a lot of work around young people and helping, I guess, Indigenous communities. And yeah, it is quite difficult, I think, with younger people coming in, saying that this is a full-time job, the time that you actually have off to do things that you're passionate about outside of football is very far and thin between. So yeah, I definitely have been privileged to be able to, do that before it became a full-time job.
So tell us about being a zookeeper.
A zookeeper was great. I got to work with all the animals, and, like humans, you get to learn their quirks, the interesting things about them, and they all have their own personality as well. So, it's a patient job, but it's something that's really fulfilling.
And I think, am I right, when you were a kid, you had a pet kangaroo?
Yeah, I had two.
Yeah. And so is this something that overseas, when journalists from other countries do interviews with you, do they always pick up on that? Because I know this obsession with anyone from outside Australia, it's always about spiders and kangaroos. Do you get asked about that?
Yeah, I do. I do say that it's not normal for any Australian to have a pet kangaroo, so we were pretty lucky growing up that we had the space for it, and it was at a time that, there was a lot of formula for little joeys that you could look after them.
What sort of experience do you think those other teams are going to have when they come here, given it's a home World Cup for you? That gives a different pressure, but it also, you're the only team that's going to feel comfortable because you belong here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of Australia is that it's so multicultural, and just it's going to be really nice for different communities around to, you know, support their teams and support their cultures that they've come and they've made Australia home for them. And I just really hope that it really fuels women's sport and women's football here in Australia, and we'll see more, you know, Indigenous kids play. That's my biggest hope and you know, goal for this World Cup.
We were talking about this being your 5th World Cup before the interview started, and we mentioned the Brazilian player, Marta, who's going to be playing in her 6th World Cup. Do you see that on your horizon?
I mean, that will be a bunch of, you know, new technology and bionic probably surgeries to make sure I last till then. But no, it's kind of full circle to have a home World Cup. I never would have thought that would happen. And just to be here, I think is, you know, that's kind of icing on the cake, cherry on top.
And so what's on the horizon for Lydia Williams after this World Cup?
Oh, I mean, I still want to play a little bit and still want to give it my all. But yeah, it's definitely time to kind of start looking for the next thing in life and next career. And I'm really big on advocacy and trying to leave the game better than when I've been here. So that's, you know, obviously my goal. I just want to make this a better place for more kids coming in and giving everyone an opportunity.
Coaching?
Probably not. Probably doing more with like player associations and player relations and kind of human advocacy and different rights and that kind of thing.
And we asked Mackenzie Arnold this. Why would anyone choose to be a goalkeeper? Why did you choose to be one?
Oh, for me, it was the only position left on the team. We came late for registration day, and it was either Div 1 and being a goalkeeper or Div 4, and there was no way I wanted to be in Div 4, so Div 1 and goalkeeper it was.
And I think a lot of people are very happy you arrived late that day.
Yep.
18 years worth of happiness.
Yep.
Yeah, Lydia Williams, thank you.
Thank you.